Alright guys, I got a 04 Hyundai Sonata 4-cylinder dual overhead cam, and we're going to do a valve job. This particular car had a broken timing belt and a few bent valves. Now what I'm going to do is I've already taken one of the camshafts out. I'm going to go ahead and do the other one so you can see. What you want to do is, because they're under spring pressure, is you want to do it in kind of like a pattern to where you're releasing some of the pressure evenly because of the springs. You don't want to snap the camshaft at all, so I kind of just take them maybe a half turn, kind of do it in a sequence back and forth. You don't have to be too particular about it, you just want to even the pressure. So another thing I do is I put the cylinder head up on blocks, and I've got small 2x4 little planks right here, and I set them up on the end of the cylinder heads just so the camshafts don't, you're not sitting the on the surface side. The valves will stick out past the surface side. You don't want them to bend them, ones that aren't bent or any further than they already are. But yeah, just a safety precaution, that's all. And plus, when we knock the valves out, you're going to hit the valve and the spring, and it's going to press it down too. So anyway, alright, let's get this out real quick. I'll try to do as fast as possible so it's not that boring. Now these cam caps are in order. They're all machined to the particular spot. So most of the time they're numbered. There'll be left or right. Now this here, I don't know if you can see. I'll get a close up here in a moment as I get these loose. But right here it says R, R1, R2, R3, R4. I usually set them out in order anyway when I take them apart, but just in case they were to get mixed up on you, these are stamped. So, alright, I'm almost got it here. Bear with me. Pretty much have the pressure off of it now. Need a couple more. Alright. There we go. We're going to take them off in order. Okay. I have them to where I will set them down. Get this last one off of here. No pressure. Bolts are loose. It's a dowel pin holding it on. There we go. Alright. I've got them in order, so I'm going to go sit them in a bucket here. Alright. Be right back. Okay. Now I also do it, take the cam out. I also do it with rockers. I will place them in the same order so they'll go back together. Same place. I'll show you here in just a second how I have them laid out. Okay. Now there's no pressure on the springs of the valves underneath, because the camshaft lobes aren't pressing anything down. So anyway, I'll show you here. I have everything laid out. Okay. Now on the top of the caps, like I said, they're all numbered. First I'm going to show you how to check the valves to see if they're leaking. I've already got the cams out of the head. This is the surface side, and you can see the valves. I've already checked it, but I'm going to show you. You pour water right into the ports. This is the intake side. I'll show you. I have a leaky valve. You fill it up with water, and you can watch it leak. I'll show you right down here. See, there it is. It's pouring right out. It's not leaking bad, but I'm going to show you how to do a valve job at home for basically no money. I don't have to send it to the machine shop. The head never overheated, so I have a straight edge we could put on it, make sure the surface side is within specs. So no machine shop at all. So anyway, I'll get set up here and I'll be right back. Alright, I'm back. Now, first thing we're going to do is set the head up on some blocks. I have wooden blocks right on the sides, just so you have clearance underneath when you take the valves out. They're not hitting the ground and bending even worse, or bending them if they're not already. Alright, we're pulling this valve right here, and we're going to do a valve job. What I use is a socket and an extension, and I'm just going to hit it real hard with a hammer, knock the keepers out. There we go, they pop right off. Now I will take a magnet, make sure you don't lose the keepers, and that's the retainer. There you go, there's the valve keepers and the retainer and the spring. Okay, I'll set those to the side. Alright, now I'm going to pull the valve out. Okay, comes right out through the bottom. There's the valve. Now what we're going to do is a valve job. What you do is you use lapping compound, which you can buy at any auto parts store. Valve grinding compound. Alright guys, okay, here we have the valve. Okay, now this is the spring and this is the retainer. Okay, and on the valve you have your 45-degree angle here. That's the side that seats in the valve seat. Now this here's your keeper grooves. Now how it works is it goes in like that, and your keepers go right in there. They lock into the groove and it sits in there just like that. I'll show you. Keepers look like the valves. Alright, that's it. They sit just like that. See how they're tapered? They sit in the groove like that, and it kind of locks in as it goes down. See if I can do it right here, just to get an idea how it works, and you can see how it works. Let's see if I can do this like this. Alright, you have one on each side. It goes like that, and then it locks in there like that, and you have two of them in there. And that's how your spring and retainer lock onto the valve. Alright, just to show you, in case you're interested in that part of it. Alright, now we'll go back to actually doing the valve job. What I'm using, like I showed you before, is the valve grinding compound. And it doesn't take much, just a little bit of it. You want it to, it's like a liquid with a grit, and it cuts. So what you're going to do, put a little bit on the 45-degree angle, right here. Not much, doesn't take much. Spread it out on here. Okay. They used to make a thing, it was called a lapper, and it was like a suction cup, and you would stick it on the bottom of the valve and take your hands and kind of roll them like that, but it was very, not very effective at all, and took forever to lap a valve in. So this way here is a lot better. Sometimes I'll take a little bit of, like, I got some white lithium grease here, and put it on the valve stem, just so that when it goes in the valve guide, it's a little smoother. As we're going to be using the drill to lap them. Alright, slide the valve in. Okay. Now what I come up with is this right here. Okay, I have a drill and a piece of hose, and I just kind of put it on there so I can somehow get onto the valve and spin it. So what I do is just pop it on there, just a piece of hose that would fit over the valve and a little snug. Press it down on there. And then I got my drill here, and that's it. So what we're going to do is turn it on. You don't have to go real fast because you want to hear it cut. Kind of hear it grinding and cutting. You let off a little bit and it'll cut some more. There it goes. Some more. Cleaning up the valve seats and the face of the valve. It could be time consuming if you have some really bad valves that are pitted or anything like that, but chances are you'll clean them up and they'll be ready to go. You can always recheck them afterwards with water in the port for mineral spirits or something like that, but anything liquid really, see if they're leaking. Alright, this will probably be good for now to check it. Alright, pull it off. Alright, slide it back out the back side. Alright, here we go, we'll grab a rag. Wipe off the compound off of it. Okay. Okay. I don't know if you can see it. It might be a little blurry, but you can see grooves in it where it's cutting. Now I'll show you the valve seat as well. 1 second. Okay. Now, right here is the valve seat that's cutting against. It's actually grinding both of them together. So I'll wipe this out. Alright. And that's it. That's how you do a valve job. You're grinding the valves, cutting the valves, the seats, and the 45-degree angle of the valve. And that's it. You could do that several times. It might take, 4 or 5 times to get it to seat good. But now you have the idea and how to do it. A lot of heads, the valves aren't, and the springs aren't sunk down in it as far. And sometimes you can use a drill and just put right on the valve. That's why I came up with this hose, because the drill, would not fit down inside there. But it works, it's effective, and I don't have to spend $500 at a machine shop. So, anyway, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to show you how to put it back together. And this part's going to be a little tricky. I had to come up with something on this as well to get it back together. You can't use a regular valve spring compressor that you get from the auto parts store. Those are basically good for, the old school 302 Fords and Chevy 350s and 305s. That's what those valve springs are pretty much. Valve spring compressors are pretty much good for. But any of the newer stuff, kind of Japanese stuff, it's not going to work. But anyway, I'll actually show you what the old valve spring compressors look like. Okay, it's this right here, and you'd spin it, loosen it up, you stick the spring in there. Let's show you how it worked. Like this, you catch it, and it compresses the spring like that to where you could slide it onto the valve, pop the keepers in, release it. But there's no way this here will fit down in there. So anyway, I'll show you what I did and how I came up with a way to do this valve job and actually put it all back together. Okay, give me a minute here. I'm going to flip the head around. Alright, let me see here. I'm going to do it from this side. I think here. I might be able to, might have to angle it from the other side as well. But anyway, alright, I took a piece of PVC pipe and I cut it. Alright, I cut it like this, small little piece. And I cut a groove out of it. Almost kind of looks like an O2 sensor socket. Now, what I have to do is put it on the retainer like that. And I pop it on the valve, or over the valve stem. Okay, I'll show you here in just a second. Alright. Now, hold on a sec, what I got here. Okay. Right here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it right on there like that. And have the open end to where I can see it and get to it. I can get the keepers in there. Alright, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to use a big C-clamp that goes around the head. And actually, hold on 1 second, let me get set up here. I can actually press the spring, compress it, and actually be able to get it back together. Let's see here. Alright. Now, I'm going to put it right here. I'll show you once I get it on there. I'll show you what it looks like, but I'll go ahead and do this first. I can't hold the camera at the same time. Let me get this set up here. It's almost impossible. Alright, let me see here. Slide it back a little bit. Okay. This on here. You'll see in a second what it'll look like. Get it all set up here. Spring. Retainer. Alright. You have to compress the spring far enough to where you can get the keepers in. And you're going to keep your face kind of away from it. There's a lot of pressure under these springs. So, once you get the hang of it, it goes by quick and you can do them pretty fast. It's just a matter of doing it the first couple times and you get the hang of it real easy. Now, another tricky part is actually getting the keepers in there. And there's a little trick to it. You have to use something to actually get it to stick to it. And I'll show you what I use and what I do. Alright, what I have here is that white lithium grease. And, alright, I'll take the keepers in here. One second. Alright. Okay. We have the keepers here. And what I do, I take this white lithium grease, squirt it on there, and squirt it on there. Like that. Come on there. I take a small screwdriver like this. And stick it to it. Like that. And then I have to feed it in there. Now this part's a little tricky. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to spin the cylinder head around so that you can see it. Let me move this out of the way. This is the hardest part. Most people can't really do it because of this. But once I show you how to do it, it's really not that hard. Okay. You slide this around here. And maybe you can see it better. Okay, let's see. Alright, let me pop it up. Pop it back. Maybe you can get a better view of it. Let's see. I don't know if that's going to work very well. I don't want to lose the head off the side of the table either. Alright, anyway, well, I will show you a close-up here in just a second. Let me see here. Alright. Alright, now I got my keeper. Stick it right down in there. And I'll show you here in just a second what it looks like. Okay. Okay, it's right here. Stuck it on the keeper, the grooves. Got it in there. Now, on the keepers, there's a thinner side and a fat side. The fat side goes toward the top. I was going to make sure you don't put them in there backwards. I don't even know if it'll go in backwards. You might not even see it in there. But anyway, let me do the other one. That. 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 You get this one in there. You just can't get your fingers in there. It'd be almost impossible to try to get these in there. I've tried all kinds of things throughout the years. Had a big Bridgeport in the machine shop we used to use, like a big drill press. And when I was doing heads, I would use that. It's kind of easy. Set it up in there and just do it that way. Alright, now I'm loosening it, making sure they stay in the grooves. Okay, just releasing the clamp. Alright. Now let me see. Make sure that the keepers are in the grooves correctly. Yep, they are. And that was it. Let me show you up close again. That's it right here. Keepers are in the grooves. Sometimes what I'll also do is, once I'm done with that, I'll take like a plastic mallet or a rubber mallet and something like the rubber side of a screwdriver or something. I would just tap it to make sure that the keepers don't pop out on you or anything like that, or seats the valve too as well. That's it. Anyway, that's it. That's a valve job at home. And basically you can go through every valve and do it if you want, or just ones that are leaking. And then just remember to reassemble the same way you came apart. And when you put the camshafts in, make sure your cylinder head is propped up. Maybe blocks of wood on the sides, just so that when you tighten the camshafts down, these valves are going to be coming out. And if they do, if you're sitting flat on the surface side, you'll end up bending them. You do not want to bend the valves after doing that. After that, and I look underneath and make sure that it clears the combustion chambers so the valves can't come out and hit the even blocks of wood on the sides. Anyway, my name's T-Rex. I hope this helps. If it was useful, please hit the like. And if you want more, please subscribe. I will subscribe back. Thank you. Have a good day.